What do YouTube? Before the season started, when we saw the Dolphins schedule that they was playing the NFC East, and I saw the Dallas Cowboys, I was like, there is no way that we can lose to the Dallas Cowboys. Like that is something that we just cannot do. Like it'd be Earth would be over. Life would be over. Excuse me. Life would be over because you don't know how many Dallas Cowboys fans that I actually know. Got a couple things that we got to cover. I'm gonna start off with the Taco Charlton, the Miami Dolphins claiming him off of waivers. Um, Honestly, pass rusher is a most definite need for the Miami Dolphins. This previous week against the New England Patriots, I saw a little bit of improvement on the defensive line, being able to generate some type of pass rush. It's a damn shame that I literally don't even know what scheme we're running half the time. Are we running a 3-4, 4-3? But us adding Taco Charlton. Taco Charlton was released by the Dallas Cowboys on Wednesday, and we ended up claiming Taco Charlton off of waivers today. That would be Thursday. Taco Charlton was drafted in 2017, 28th overall. Does say he has a little bit of an injury history here with ankle surgery and shoulder surgery. And those of y'all that be like, yo, his real name cannot be Taco, but it's not. It's Vidante. It's Vidante Charlton, but Taco's the nickname, obviously. But just a food for thought. Honestly, when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, I felt like they had a whole lot of depth, and that's the reason why it led to Taco Charlton getting released on top of the Twitter post that he had on social media too as well. But having him coming into the Miami Dolphins provides us with pass rusher depth, which something we actually do need. I'm still not sold on Charles Harris. I still haven't seen Charles Harris been able to get one sack yet, and we're going into week 3 against the Dallas Cowboys. So adding Taco Charlton should help a lot with our young pass rushers, especially we still trying to, we're building apparently. So Taco Charlton fits right in with a whole bunch of misfits with Robert Nkemdiche, Charles Harris, and Christian Wilkins. So Taco Charlton, I'm looking forward to seeing some Taco Charlton. Hopefully we can get him in uniform this week, because that will literally add insult to injury. Us going to Dallas. Taco Charlton suiting up in a Miami Dolphins uniform against Dallas, his former team, right away. Like, how it can't be that hard. It literally can't be that hard to get him in there a couple of plays. Like, he would bring something a little bit extra to the table. And it gets me thinking, like, really, when teams release players, and then that player signs with a team that the opposite team is about to play, like, does that give them an advantage? Because literally, was he studying he knows the playbook? It would help out the offense. I'm curious to know something like that. So, I would think it would. I literally would think it would. But Taco Charlton, I like the move, man. Nice young defensive end. You can never have too many pass rushers on your roster, and we also got them on the cheap too. So. We not spending tremendous amount of money. I would hate for us to touch that 110 million everybody's so anal about. But let's go ahead and get to the news of the day, man. Josh Rosen has got the nod to be the starter against the Dallas Cowboys. I literally prayed upon this. On Sunday night. I was like, man, we got the Dallas Cowboys this week. I'm never going to hear the end of this if we don't do something quick. But dating back to the signing of Ryan Fitzpatrick in free agency, one of the main things that I highlighted when I looked over the contract, it did have some contract incentives in there, which included playing time. So, and then if he ended up playing a certain amount of playing time, his salary would go up. So I knew he wasn't going to end up playing the whole entire season. I just didn't know exactly when, because my prediction was he was going to end up coming. He was going to end up being benched after the bye week. That was my prediction, but obviously it didn't end up happening. Got to see my boy Jay Rosen a little earlier than expected. So, obviously Josh Rosen, for those who haven't been paying attention, was we traded for Josh Rosen in the 2018 draft with the Arizona Cardinals. It was a late second round pick, early third pick. And in training camp, the report said that Ryan Fitzpatrick was ahead of Josh Rosen, but in game time, I seem to notice that Josh Rosen just looked like the better quarterback. I'm sorry, and I was preaching this ever since we ended up making this trade. Like, you gotta put him in there. Like, I know a lot of people were like, he's not ready. Why would we put him behind this offensive line? And that leads into my next point, which is, why did they decide to do it now? Because you got, like, right after the New England Patriots game, Brian Flores came out and said Ryan Fitzpatrick is our guy. So why we have such a change of heart all of a sudden? Honestly, I feel like Stephen Ross was like, you know what? You're going to have to start him. Or Chris Greer came out and had to say something to Brian Flores and make him the starter, because I really don't think this was Brian Flores' decision. Obviously, we end up having 3 first-round picks, one our own pick, the Houston Texans pick, and now the Pittsburgh Steelers pick. I feel like now we want to get a full evaluation of Josh Rosen moving forward. You get a nice sample size. He gets 13 games. 14 games. Gets 14 games for us to get all that we need to know out of Josh Rosen, so we can go into this 2019 draft and make that decision. Are we going to end up drafting a quarterback? I like the move. I wish he would have started off week 1. Like, it's good, because I feel like Josh Rosen gives us the best chance to win against the Dallas Cowboys. Not that I'm saying that we will, but he increases our chances, to be quite honest with you. And as I was watching Ryan Fitzpatrick over the past 2 weeks, literally threw 1 touchdown, threw 4 interceptions, threw for 274 yards, and had a passer rating of 39.9. That was literally unacceptable. So I think the Miami Dolphins team as a whole, when you look at it, you just need a breath of fresh air. You need some youth. You need to see some hope. Because like I said, we already knew what we had out of Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't care what anybody says. You think that Ryan Fitzpatrick is literally going to strike gold after 16 years. 16 years, change his ways at 36 years old. As I observed Ryan Fitzpatrick over the first 2 games, he looked like his arm was going. It looked like his arm was going. But again, I'm just excited to see. I'm just that much more excited for this Sunday to see Josh Rosen play, to give him a full 60 minutes of football. And people fail to understand the fact that when it comes to a young quarterback nowadays, because I know people in the comment section, they like comparing them to other quarterbacks in the league. Like, in this day and age in the NFL, teams don't sit their quarterbacks for long. They don't. And Josh Rosen's situation, Josh Rosen already sat last year with the Arizona Cardinals with Sam Bradford. So he had a chance to hold the clipboard. At this point, I feel like Josh Rosen just needs an opportunity to start and get that in-game experience. There's nothing like in-game experience. You really think, give you an example. You really think a doctor really just becomes a doctor by not having to do their clinicals and be hands-on in the surgeon room? No, that's what they do. They got to go in there. They got to practice the stuff. And then once they get their certifications, they go ahead and do their thing. The same thing with the quarterback position. You got to throw them in there regardless of the situation. Like, I don't want to hear in the comment section, because that's what I've been hearing. Well, reading, is that Josh Rosen, we shouldn't start him because of the offensive line. At the end of the day, You put the best 11 players on the field, hands down, regardless if it's the offensive line. Yes, I know we had a situation with Ryan Tannehill. Yes, I know Andrew Luck ended up retiring because they were incapable of the Indianapolis Colts were incapable of protecting Andrew Luck early on in his career. But put this on the Miami Dolphins. Don't put this on me. They ended up trading Laremy Tunsil. They ended up letting Jawan James end up signing up with the Denver Broncos. They did those things. So now like I said, we're in a situation now. You got 3 first-round picks. It's Josh Rosen's time because clearly we're not getting anywhere with Ryan Fitzpatrick. That is what it is. You can't hold the man back because of an offensive line. I'm not gonna say he's transcendent, but you gotta see what he's got regardless. Gotta see if you gotta make do with your investment because with this 2020 draft coming up right now. Out of all these moves that we have made, from Ryan Tannehill to Robert Quinn to Minkah Fitzpatrick to Laremy Tunsil, Kenny Stills, us getting all this capital, you better hit them. You got to. There's no room for error here. You better hit every single last one of these draft picks because Brian Flores' job is going to be at stake. Chris Greer's job, even though I trust Chris Greer, ever since we ended up promoting him up to being the general manager. He's my boy. But let me know what you guys think. You know what it is. If you enjoy the content, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. This is GreatOne DeVore. I'm up out of here.